Earlier this year, Councilmember Wayne Williams conspired with Jenna Griswold to misappropriate over $1 million of taxpayer money to fund a joint campaign ad. When confronted, he claimed ignorance, saying he was duped by Ms. Griswold. Now, Hanlon's razor says, never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Unfortunately, this is not a good explanation in this case. Undoubtedly, Mr. Williams displayed catastrophically poor judgment that I believe disqualifies him from a position of public trust. However, I know Mr. Williams to be a very intelligent man. It beggars belief that any functional adult could be as gullible as Wayne claimed to be in his interview with the Gazette. In point of fact, emails have come to light which prove beyond any doubt that Mr. Williams was well aware of the nature and timing of the ad. That rather than being blindsided by Ms. Griswold's unethical behavior, he was a willing accomplice. That instead of being a victim, he was using the ad for his own personal political purposes. Recently, Jenna Griswold claimed that if Republicans win the upcoming elections, you might lose your right to vote. That is a vicious slander by a hyper-partisan activist, not the measured speech of an unbiased official. I think that any mayor needs to do whatever is in his power or her power to ensure that the vote of every citizen who resides in Colorado Springs is counted equally and accurately. Mr. Williams is a registered Republican. He claims that Ms. Griswold is a trusted source of election information. The only possible conclusion is that if elected, he intends to subvert democracy. Unfortunately, in this, I'll have to take him at his word, because for the past decade, he's done just that. Unfortunately, he's wasted tax dollars on tabulating machines that are so efficient, they take 3 weeks to do what was formerly done in hours by hand. He's corrupted the system by taking kickbacks, and he's taken the tax money in this campaign ad and then lied to the voters to cover it up. He even subverted the Electoral College as Secretary of State by replacing members who voted wrong. If there's been an attack on democracy in this decade, Mr. Williams was there. His gross ethical lapses have already been called out by a member of the El Paso County Commissioners. I asked the Colorado Springs City Council to join in that condemnation by officially reprimanding Councilmember Williams for misappropriation of public funds and then lying to the public to cover up his malfeasance. I call on the Williams campaign to return the money taken from the people without their consent and to fund his campaign legally. I request the council hold him to the high ethical standards of this body by joining in that call. And finally, as you know, there is a recall effort underway by Integrity Matters to remove Mr. Williams from this council for this behavior. I call on Mr. Williams now to do the honorable thing and resign and spare the city the expense and effort of a special election. I call on the council to recommend his resignation as his misdeeds reflect poorly on this august body. Please tell the citizens of Colorado Springs that you stand for our tax dollars being spent to the benefit of the populace and not for self-serving campaign purposes.
Okay, we appreciate you staying within the 3 minutes. And anybody else in council with anything that they want to mention during citizens' discussion for items not on today's agenda?